Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Boxing Rampage, episode 15. I am your host, JC, accompanied by
Flaco right here, and today we are on episode quinceañera.
15. We're going to give our little lady away, celebrate her becoming a woman, Boxing Rampage.
And we got a super exciting episode tonight.
Yeah, that sounds a little Aussie right there. So we're going to cover the fights for last week, Deontay Wilder and the undercards, and then we're going to talk about the March 4th CBS Showtime free TV fight at the Barclays Center with Danny Garcia and Keith Thurman and the undercards to begin. So let's begin with the Dominic Breazele versus Ugonoh, a.k.a. the Black a.k.a. the Black Man from Poland, Polish. Yeah. So what do you think of that?
Oh, great fight, man. It was super exciting. It was a back and forth fight. Ugonoh dropped Breazele. Then Breazele came and dropped him back. And Breazele ended up getting the TKO.
The wine is already getting to him over here.
Man.
What are you drinking, man?
Hey.
Looks good. It looks good.
All right. So, anyways, going back to the fight. Super exciting fight. And, yeah, the thing I noticed, and I also noticed on the Tony Harris fight, sometimes when you have lack of experience, I notice these guys, they don't know what to do when they're hurt. And I think that Ugonoh was boxing nicely to the beginning, and I thought he was winning the fight for the first few rounds, but I guess when he opened up too much, he had no defense, and he got caught. And when he got caught, he didn't hold, he just kept fighting, and that's not good for the sport. I mean, for them and their corners.
I'm not gonna lie, Ugonoh on paper looked very good to me. He looked like a fighter that was gonna be very tough to beat, and he did put up a great fight. But it's like you said, as far as sometimes fighters when they get hit and they don't know what to do, then you gotta have the resilience and the poise just to keep it together, your composure, and then pull through in the end. So. As far as the Breazele fight, that's just a great opportunity for him. At heavyweight, who knows? Maybe this fight was set to happen so he could face Deontay Wilder. Maybe he's an option for him. Because I know Wilder, and I'm about to get into the Wilder fight, but I know Wilder was supposed to fight. I know he fought Washington, but who's he supposed to fight next for unification? Was it for the WBO?
Walter?
Yeah, Deontay Wilder. He was supposed to unify.
Well, right now, yeah, he got the Parker fight, but WBC.
Yeah, Parker. Excuse me.
But WBC just ordered
Bermane
Stiverne, and also I don't know if you heard, but Breazele and Wilder got it into it on the lobby of the hotel. So
yeah,
you want to touch on that?
It's a build up. Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's really, usually when they put these cards together and they put the undercard with a fight like Breazele and Ugonoh, is pretty much to prepare that man on the same broadcast to prepare, the champion, in this case, the favorite Wilder, to fight the winner of that. So I wouldn't be surprised if Wilder doesn't get what he wants, and let's say if they try to negotiate the Parker fight or whatever the outcome of the Klitschko and the Anthony Joshua. I don't think that fight is going to happen next for Wilder. I think more than likely they'll try to go for the Parker negotiations. If they can get that, then they will. But if not, they'll probably just fall back on Breazele because, like I said, Breazele was in a firefight with Ugonoh. He won the fight. So naturally, I would say that the most logical thing they can do next is probably put Dominic Breazele versus Wilder, and Anthony Joshua and Wilder would then have a common opponent in Dominic Breazele, which should work out for them.
Yeah, I think even as last weekend, I think he should have been fighting Breazele. Breazele, I think, is a way better opponent than Washington. And I don't know if you want to jump into that fight already, or
let's go.
Just go, and then we talk about the Harrison and Hurd fight.
Yeah, that works.
So basically, damn, Wilder looked it terrible. I mean, he always had looked it like that, but I guess. He always
fought a guy his size. That's pretty much it.
And that's what I was gonna say. He's used to fighting smaller guys, and basically, I think that the size and the jab wasn't there for him.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, I feel that. Pretty much the thing that I noticed the most that was outstanding there was that Wilder, when Washington would hit him with a jab, Washington's jab was very stiff jab, and usually Wilder is more aggressive and prone to come in into a jab and overcome the jab and throw his shots, but it was very much he was thinking a lot. He was very cautious, which is a good thing, but then he wasn't being aggressive to where that's why people saw it's like, oh, he didn't look as good as he usually does because, yeah, normally he dominates every round, but he didn't dominate the fight, not because he didn't have the skill. He was just being very cautious, and it seems to me that it shows a flaw in Wilder to where if he feels that someone's being very aggressive on him or overwhelming him with power, it looks like to me he freezes up a bit, like because there were times in the fight with Washington that he was freezing up a bit. He didn't not know what to do, but he was hesitant on pulling the gun, just throwing his punches out of fear of maybe being counterpunched. That's pretty much what I saw.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I had Washington winning the fight until the time of the stoppage, and I think that the stoppage, the referee
premature.
Yeah, it was a bit premature. I get it, but he was still swinging. He was still like and I have been watching boxing for a long time, and I usually hear the people saying that usually when a person is hurt is when they are the most dangerous. And unless, if the referee would have seen that he would have stopped throwing punches, then yeah, I would agree with the stoppage. But he was still swinging, and I think he should have let him there a little bit longer. But yeah,
yeah, that's what I think. So, a good performance by El Gallo Negro. Hope to see more from him. I mean, he has one loss, but in his loss, I can honestly say, out of all the opponents that Deontay Wilder has fought, Washington has looked the best in defeat against him, and who knows, maybe anyone else he would fight, I wouldn't mind seeing him again fight, because the guy's very strong, he's very sound, has a very good jab, very stiff, very powerful. So I hope to see him again in the future. So
I think Spilker was doing really well as well, but yeah, I mean Washington did pretty well. I mean he was controlling the fight since round one.
Yeah, no, definitely. So, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and keep it short on this. Let's jump into the Jarrett Hurd versus Tony Harris fight. That was a fight that started out well. Tony Harris is a very good boxer, very problematic, especially to Jarrett Hurd, which I felt that he relied more on his power and his size to overwhelm his opponent. Tony Harris, obviously, the better boxer, had better movement, utilized his jab, had a very good inside game. But ultimately, it comes down to he took unnecessary risks against Jarrett Hurd. I mean, in my opinion, he was winning the fight. I don't know if he felt he had to dominate the fight. I don't know if his corner told him, hey, look, you're pretty comfortable on the cards. You should try to take a round off or two or just lay off, because I was looking at the scorecards, and definitely Jarrett Hurd was not winning, not even by a nose, and maybe he decided to lay it on, but I felt no need for him to lay it on. I mean, I felt Jarrett Hurd was losing, but obviously Harris went into Hurd's game, and then obviously Hurd, was being aggressive to the body, and I believe he hit him with an uppercut and put him away. So that's pretty much it. What do you think of that fight as well?
Wow, Hurd was huge. What do you think about that? I mean, compared to Harrison, he was way bigger. But now that he won the fight, and he's now a champion, I don't think he could do really good against guys like Trout or one of the
54 guys.
Yeah, the top name 54 guys. I think he's still got a lot to learn. Hopefully, he did learn a lot. But when it comes to Harrison, I think Harrison didn't learn from his previous loss, and he should have hold when he was hurt. He just stand there, drop his mouth guard, and expected to
he expected to get a hold on, just get the mouth guard and put it back in.
Yeah, I thought that was his plan. He was trying to win, he was hurt. Time. Yeah, buy more time, but then that just told the referee that he was done. And that's the thing, and same thing with Ugonoh. Yeah, you get hurt, you gotta hold or move around. You don't stay there and throw punches. I mean, and then with a bigger guy or a stronger guy, and in the case of Harrison, Hurd was way bigger. It reminded me
physically bigger.
Yeah, it reminded me of Canelo versus Cotto. Man, Canelo looked huge compared to Cotto, and the same thing. Or if you want to not even go that far, the fight against Charlo versus Williams, where Charlo looked way bigger than Williams, man.
No,
But,
definitely, yeah. He that's why I think that has to do a lot with it. Even if you lack in skill, which I think in this fight, I mean, Jarrett Hurd, he's a very good boxer, but against a guy like Tony Harrison, that I felt that skill wise he wasn't there, but eventually he was a stronger fighter. He looked like, he was not tired at all, more endurance. He eventually won the fight, but I felt, Harrison could have won this fight. He just had to be cautious, and that's what I'm saying. Like I said, I don't know if his corner told him, hey, you've got a pretty comfortable lead on this fight. You could just hold back. So congratulations to Hurd. He's now a champion at 54. Hopefully we can see fights with him against the likes of maybe Demetrius Andrade or, maybe Lara. Something like that could happen. So we'll see.
Yeah, I heard his mandatory is Trout.
Good luck.
Yeah, I think that's a really hard fight for him. He's gonna have like the weight advantage, but Trout, unless he catches Trout with a flush punch and knock him out, I really see Trout winning that fight.
All right, so yeah. So now let's move on to the fights coming up this week, and obviously let's save the best for last. And we're gonna start out with the undercard, the UK card, at the is that the O2 Arena, I believe, for the Tony Bellew and the David Haye fight.
I'll have to double check on it, but
they also have the Paulie Malignaggi versus Sam Eggington. Which one do you want to discuss first? The Paulie fight or the Tony fight?
Start with the undercard.
Yeah, so basically with Paulie Malignaggi, he's going over to the UK to fight Sam Eggington, and Paulie is a fighter that has had a great career. Obviously, he's a two-time champion. He's fought very good opponents. You check his resume. He's fought Amir Khan, which came up short. Zab Judah beat him, but Judah was already older. Cotto, which pretty much was, I believe, Paulie's first loss, and he took a tough fight there. I mean, I don't know if they, he hurt his hand and his jaw looked really bad. And the fights along the way, obviously, Ricky Hatton, he's fought. He lost to him as well. The story behind Paulie Malignaggi is he's a very good boxer. And I've always thought this. I believe if Paulie Malignaggi had power, he would be a great boxer. I think that due to the power, and I'm not saying, when many people say, oh, he lacks power, he has pillow. No, I think Paulie could crack. The thing is just, it's maybe not enough to, to take these guys down. But I think, if Paulie Malignaggi was in a street fight, he could easily knock somebody out. But with that being said, Paulie has a chin. He has great footwork. He has great boxing ability. His jab is his bread and butter. The guy has a very good jab, knows how to vary the timing, knows how to vary the range in and out. He knows how to work angles. The problem with Paulie is that he doesn't have the power. So being he's not going to knock his opponent out, he trains for a 12-round fight. He doesn't train for a knockout. Paulie's whole, how some fighters say we train for 12 rounds? Well, some fighters have the luxury and the power to say, this may end early. But Paulie, his only option is a 12-round fight. So more than likely, I've noticed with Paulie is that he develops his whole game plan around fighting 12 rounds, sticking behind his jab, and using movement. Obviously, he's gotten older. I believe he's 30. He was born in 1980, so he's about 36, 35, 36, maybe 37. Who knows? But he's gotten slower.
36.
36. So he's gotten slower. His legs obviously has gotten slower. His reflexes have gotten slower. But with the jab he has, he's able to disrupt his opponent's offense, which, disrupts their timing. So with Paulie, it just depends on how he comes in. I mean, I listen to Paulie Malignaggi's podcast from Brooklyn to the World, and something that he's always expressed is that he still has the desire to fight. He's always trying to, do one more. He's, I think he had that one thing with his letter to boxing or his diary to boxing where he expressed the same thing, that he does the sport because it's something that he really loves to do. At this point, obviously, it's more for the money. I think glory's in there, but I don't think like most, it's not, not the main thing. But it really comes down to how he shows up. But my pick for the fight is going to be Malignaggi. I know he's fighting Sam Eggington. I believe can you check to see who Sam Eggington's last opponent was? Frankie Gavin. He beat him by TKO, I know that.
Yes, sir.
But with Sam Eggington, I just don't see if some fighters, if they fight guys who are offensive or fighters that are very open, just stationary, then it's easy for them to beat. But with a fighter like Paulie, a guy that's mobile like that, I feel Paulie still has the skills to beat any top B class opponent. Now, when you get to the elite A opponents, then he's always come up short if you look at his resume. But looking at Eggington, I classify him as a B class opponent. No disrespect, that's just looking at his resume. I classify him as a B class opponent, and I think Paulie Malignaggi will win by a unanimous decision. So, what is your take on that?
For me, I do love Paulie. He's from Brooklyn, you know. He's a guy that he wasn't blessed with power, and like you said. But me personally, fighting Eggington in his hometown, basically, and Eggington. Yes, Eggington is coming from a long layoff because his last fight, like I said, was Frankie Gavin. And this fight was, I can't remember exactly when, but I think it was sometime last year. It was October, so sometime in October. Frankie Gavin fought, Eggington fought Frankie Gavin, but, you know, I think it was, it's not that much of a layoff. But anyways, yeah, Paulie fought Breazele, and he didn't look that great. He looked slower, he looked older. I don't know, and it was a fight in New York. I mean, he should have looked good, but you know, I think Paulie should be thinking retirement, and I think the younger Eggington is gonna take it, man. I honestly think so, man. And I was wrong with a couple of weeks back. Roy Jones is gonna get it from the bit younger. Bobby Gunn, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe Paulie could outbox him. He can. He's a more slick boxer, but I think Eggington is the hungrier boxer. He got the home advantage, and he's rugged. He's a rugged guy. He's gonna bring it to Paulie. I don't know if Paulie's gonna be able to sustain the pressure, and guys like for instance, I mean. Eggington does pack a punch, but he doesn't have Sean Porter power. But you saw what Sean Porter did to Paulie when he came in, lunging in, throwing punches like a bull. So let's see what happens. But I will say that if not Eggington by the late TKO, maybe Eggington by decision.
Okay.
And that'll be my prediction for that one fight.
Okay. So let's move on to the Tony Bellew fight versus David Haye. Obviously, in this case, Tony Bellew is moving up in weight to fight David Haye. I don't know if you guys seen his record, but he has 28 wins, 2 losses, 1 by KO, 18 KOs, and his losses come to Adonis Stevenson by TKO. I believe that was a while back, and his other fight was against Nathan Cleverly.
That was a light heavyweight, and he made the most of the noise in the cruiserweight, and now he's going to move up to heavyweight to fight David Haye.
So what is your take on that fight? How do you see it playing out?
I think Haye, you know, he been out of the ring for almost 2 years. He came back, fought a couple of times, but those guys that he fought are no names. If Bellew would have been more established at heavyweight, I would favor him. But moving up in weight and fighting the bigger guy that he's already established at heavyweight, I think that Haye have the advantage. Also, Haye does pack the more power. I think he doesn't have like crushing power, but he does have that haymaker that he always bring to the fights. And I think that Haye's gonna catch Bellew, man. I'll say round 7. Catch him and either knock him out or TKO.
Okay. I mean, coming up in weight is tough, and especially going to heavyweight to where, heavyweight, if you're well composed in your size, then you can't take advantage of it. But it's like you said, against Adonis Stevenson, if Tony Bellew got knocked out against him, then one could imagine against a bigger guy, stronger guy at a heavyweight. To where you can, as long as you can carry your weight, you can carry your power, then it would be tough. So I agree with the same thing. It could be short, but that's why skills pay the bills. So let's see if he's victorious. But
yeah, and the winner of this fight could be a good opponent for the Klitschko versus Joshua winner. And last week I did committed a mistake of saying that we was gonna see that fight this week because every time that you talk to me about UK, I'm thinking about Klitschko versus Anthony Joshua. But now this weekend we getting Bellew versus A, which is actually a good fight. I'm actually excited about it. But yeah, I think it's gonna end up like in that mid-round 7-6. I'll say 7 TKO. But yeah, the winner could fight Anthony Joshua, which I think will be the winner of the Klitschko fight.
Okay, that works out. They got their own thing going on in the UK, and then here in the States, we'll see how Deontay Wilder makes that happen with either Parker or, in this case, Breazele. So let's move on from that, and let's go to the CBS Showtime card. 3 main cards there of the night. We can start out talking about Erickson Lubin versus Jorge Cota. Look, guys, I think that's just a fight to showcase Erickson Lubin. Kid is strong, undefeated. Jorge Cota is just, honestly, for me, he looks like a guy they're just bringing in to make Erickson Lubin look good. I see that fight ending by TKO or straight KO in the fight just to showcase how good he is. It's a WBC junior middleweight eliminator fight. So that's my pick. I hate to be short about it, but that's how I see it. I mean, just looking at the opponent, obviously Lubin is the favorite. It's just a fight to make him look good and showcase him on such a big stage, such as the one at the Barclays. What do you think of that?
Yeah, definitely. In that fight, because remember, 2 months ago, we was hearing about Sullivan Barrera versus Beterbiev being on the card, but that fight didn't get to fruition. So they had to get somebody else to cover that spot, and they put Lubin. They want to put him out there. It's going to be a sold out crowd, hopefully. I know Danny done as much as 17,000 in that arena, and
has the record for the Barclays.
Yeah, and I think two power guys of 2 top guys at welterweight, they will definitely gonna sell it out. If we would have not been going to the Triple G versus Jacob, I would definitely gonna be there. But hey, we're gonna watch still on TV. We're gonna be up front. We're gonna have the cheap
seats in the front with the beer.
Exactly. But yeah, most likely, like you said, that I see Lubin winning by a TKO, maybe in the early rounds. It's a fight just to showcase him, like you said. I'm not really
not surprised with that. There's no frills. All right, working our way up. The next fight to discuss here is the Andres Fonfara versus Chad Dawson. If you guys recall, Fonfara was defeated by Joe Smith Jr., a.k.a. Mr. He pushed me out of the ring against Hopkins. I mean, this kid's amazing. He works construction, union guy. Pretty sure someone gets his coffee, his Dunkin' coffee every morning on the site. It says, "Oh, thank you, Joe Smith. You're the man." He's like, "All right, go get my coffee." But pretty much Fonfara was knocked out by Joe Smith Jr., so he's coming off of a loss. Chad Dawson is a fighter that is older, not as good as he used to be, but notable wins Chad Dawson has, which is interesting. He has fought and defeated Bernard Hopkins, but this is many moons ago. So both fighters are in need of a win to look good.
That's what. Hold on. Those wins are with PEDs or without PEDs?
I don't know, man. There's no, the body of evidence lies in his body, so we don't even know if what was the case. But looking at Chad Dawson's record, I mean, he has a long resume: 34 wins, 19 by knockout, 4 losses, 2 KOs. Pretty much, if you look at the body of his pretty much his resume, he has wins, 2 wins over Antonio Tarver back in 08-09. Also as well, he has wins over, in this case, Bernard Hopkins. He had a no contest prior to that. Lost to Pascal, lost to Ward Stevenson. Could be the juice here, right? But pretty much he's fighting Fonfara now. So he's in need of a name to beat to put him back in the top spot. Hopefully one of the guys, who knows, whoever could win this probably could fight Joe Smith Jr. or something like that. And then obviously Fonfara looked very good. If you guys recall, Fonfara knocked down Chavez Jr. So Fonfara needs to come back from a win. The way I see it, I have Fonfara winning. Just based off of the knockout power, I think he's going to be more reserved now. Or could I don't. Some people take losses well, some people don't. But my opinion, I have Fonfara winning by knockout against Dawson. I feel that Fonfara is going to overwhelm him, and I don't feel that Dawson is going to have the speed or the timing to deal with Fonfara's overwhelming power for the fight. So
yeah, I think Dawson fall into the game with the Andre Ward fight, and I heard he got KO on his one of his partner during that fight. KO him. He struggled making that weight. He even fainted a couple of times, and I don't know, man. This guy, he never been the same afterwards. Fonfara, he just slipped because he didn't take Joe Smith serious, and I think he got caught. But he was doing good. He was coming back and trying to get that Stevenson fight a rematch, and the winner I think still could fight Stevenson. But like you said, I also favor Fonfara.
Okay. So now let's move on to the final topic of the night. This is the bread and butter. This is what we've all been waiting for. As many of you guys know, I am a big Danny Garcia fan. I am, I believe he is the goods. To me, he's my favorite fighter in boxing right now. So this is a fight that has been a long time in the making. As you well know, Danny Garcia is going to fight Keith Thurman March 4th at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. My pick is already Garcia, but I just want to hear what your take on it is, so I can dispute whatever you have to say. So just take it away.
So basically, in my thoughts, and we already know that Danny got flaws, and I'll give him all the credit. He had the better resume, and he always finds a way to win. But he got a couple decisions in his resume that I think are gifted. And he's coming up. He's moving up from 140 after a couple of fights and fighting one of the top dogs at 147, the bigger dude, the bigger guy. So I think Keith Thurman is gonna be the bigger man at night. And style makes fights. I mean, if we compare similar styles to guys that Danny had fought, I always notice that Danny have problem with athletic guys that move around. Danny does not know how to cut the ring. So people come and say, "Oh yeah, but Collazo got him with that body shot, and Diego Chavez was beating him." But those are guys that are athletic and have feet movement. Danny Garcia is a guy that he every time that he want to lay that right hand, he set up, he resets and resets and plants his feet, and against a guy that move around and is really athletic and throw a lot of punches.
He reminds me. I hate saying, but Danny Garcia reminds me a lot of Canelo, the way his style is. Likes to walk around the ring. Yeah, you've never seen him chasing somebody around the ring, really.
Exactly. So basically, yeah, because he plants his feet every time he want to unload on the punch. Danny Garcia, I'm gonna give him credit. He does have great timing, but sometimes when you got guys that are pressuring you that much, it upset your timing. So, like for instance, if you the only reason I feel that Guerrero lost that fight is because he gassed after the 6th round. But Guerrero was doing pretty good in pressuring him, and he couldn't have an answer for that pressure until Guerrero gassed out. But Guerrero won most of the first 5, maybe 6 rounds. The night of the fight, I had it a draw. Mm-hmm. Then I came back and I see, okay, I gave one extra round to Danny, but that's a it is all about styles. Like
you're right.
Danny come like do pretty well, because I thought Matisse was gonna win that fight, but Danny does good at guys that come to him like Matisse, that comes and hunts him like Matisse, like Amir Khan. So guys are coming to you, throwing at you, and he sit there and he times you, and he does really good with the timing, and he unload, and when he unload, that's when he catch you, and he does have a really great chin. So I can't see Thurman probably knocking him out. I might not see him probably dropping him maybe, or you'll see that because
that's brave.
and I'm saying it's gonna be a real tough fight for Keith Thurman to take out Danny because Danny got a chin. This kid, he's strong. He's young. He's strong.
I think in the fight he looks the physically stronger guy right now.
I disagree. And another thing that I don't see on Danny is his power. He came up to 147 and fighting true natural 147. You don't see the power. The Paulie Malignaggi fight, they stopped the fight because Paulie was taking a lot of punches. But for me, Paulie just got paid off. He wasn't himself for that night. I mean, then again, he hadn't looked himself since he probably fought South Judah, and that fight he looked rig as fuck too. But I don't know. I mean, Danny fought Guerrero, a guy who got knocked down by Aaron Martinez, a guy who doesn't have power, and also the cab driver. I forgot his name. But those two guys, they are not known power punchers, and they dropped Danny Guerrero, and Danny couldn't hurt him, like drop him or take him out. So
I have a reason for that. All right, so obviously my pick is Danny, but one thing I'm seeing with Garcia, just assessing the fight, he has, and that's what I'm saying. It's easy to say, oh, against him he's this, against the other person he's that, but one thing Danny has is he's very composed. I feel mentally, on a mental level, I feel Danny has the edge. He's more mentally composed. He's more sure of himself. Weight-wise, he's coming up to 47 as a welterweight. He said himself he didn't have to battle to make weight. Thurman, on the other hand, has to fight to make 47. So he has to make the weight and put it in a training camp. So with Garcia, he had to make sacrifices, but he didn't have to cut weight as bad as Thurman did. So on the weight side, he's going to come in stronger because obviously if you have more muscle at 47, then that's less. I feel Thurman had to maybe lose muscle or thin himself out just to keep at the weight, because to me Thurman should be at 154 pounds at this point. But as far as having a left hook, Danny's right hand. If you look at even if you look at the Guerrero fight and you look at the Vargas fight, he has a very good right hand. So both of them are good. One thing he's still doing, which I'm not pleased with, is his jabs. He needs to straighten out that jab. He's really not, throwing the jab, a straighter jab. He relies a lot on the hooks and just throwing his shots wider. But they're not, a lot of people say wide, but it's more of a compact wide. It's not a wide to where it's all the way out. So because if it was all the way out the shot, people would find a way to block it or at least catch the punch. As far as, like I said, chin, he has a chin. He has timing. He has good speed. Defense-wise, I think Danny has a better defense on the inside as far as countering punches and blocking punches. He showed in his last 2-3 fights, he showed that he can slip punches and just be in the pocket and just pretty much avoid other people's punches. Thurman, on the other hand, doesn't have a good as defense inside because once he's inside, he's very aggressive, very offensive, but Thurman's biggest asset is his mobility. He has a great leg movement. He can be a boxer. He can come in, come out, do his offense to come out. So on that, I feel that way. Now, as far as the way Danny fights, the Guerrero fight, he could have knocked him out. You're right. But I felt that he chose not to, being that Guerrero is a dangerous puncher. Is getting back to
a dangerous puncher. Who have Guerrero knocked out at 147? Nobody.
But
Nobody.
Look at the Keith Thurman fight. Keith Thurman, I mean, he took one thing about Guerrero. He's a dirty fighter.
I always like how people that he could have done this.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Why take the risk? Why take the risk? If you don't need to?
Risk.
Oh my goodness.
You're saying that he have a great chin, right? So
yeah,
then you're contradicting yourself. You're contradicting yourself by saying that what risk? Dude, if you got a great chin, that's not a risk. A guy who he have 0 KO at 147. Guerrero used to be a beast at 135. Yeah. He never fought at 140. At 135, he used to be a beast. He used to knock out guys left to right. He moved to 140. The most he ever done was convert Berto into an Asian guy. Other than that, he haven't dropped nobody. He have never KO anybody at 147. This guy doesn't punch at 147.
The thing is, he's dangerous to fight Guerrero because he, like I said, he uses headbutts and everything like that. And why get hurt with someone if you can win the fight? If you notice the whole fight, Danny was on his back foot. He really was just
because
going backwards.
he was applying the pressure, and that's what I'm talking about. The reason why I say Danny won't be Danny's a mid-range hooker. He will not be able to cut in that distance with Thurman because he doesn't know how to cut a ring. He looks confused against Peterson. He looks confused as shit. He didn't know what to do, and all he did was swinging in the air and just make look at the crowd. Peterson won that fight. Whoever said that Peterson did not.
Peterson didn't put the extra 2 rounds. That's what it was.
What extra 2 rounds? Because so if you don't swing.
He had ring generalship. He was controlling the fight.
How he never cut the ring. He
didn't have to cut the ring. It was Peterson's job to come in. You know what that fight reminds me of? It reminds me of the Canelo versus Lara fight. Canelo was in the center of the ring. Lara had to come in. And he was afraid of the. This is the thing. Peterson's job was to wear him down.
I'm not gonna lie. Walk him down.
Later in the fight. That was a play. Later in the fight.
Yeah, but after the 6th round.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So
he didn't. Dude,
he walked the kid down. He walked him down.
You watch that fight again. He didn't win even 6 rounds. I give Peterson maybe he won 5 rounds and then 7. That close to where he won the fight. But dude, the thing people say, like, if Peterson would have won 2 more rounds, he would have been better. But the fact that he came on late, that's what it was.
Danny Garcia for a reason.
Dude, the only fight that I felt was a gift was the Herrera fight. Other than that, the Peterson fight, he won that fight.
He didn't win that fight. No way he won that fight.
Oh my God!
No, listen,
we're getting off topic here.
He didn't. In the first 6th round, he couldn't touch Peterson, and then in the last part of the fight, Peterson walked him down throughout the whole freaking round. So, mind
you, the fight was at catchweight. He was fighting to make the weight. At 40, at 43, 44, whatever.
The weight doesn't have to do with the fight. You're throwing excuses, extra excuses.
But that's what I'm saying.
And Danny acts and said it himself. And I heard we heard the interview this morning because I was listening to some of Danny's interviews, and he said that he chose not to because he couldn't make the weight. So
yeah, right. You're right.
But still, Peterson was the bigger guy the night of the fight, so it doesn't really matter.
Peterson was on some shit.
Yeah, who cares?
But anyway, no. Getting back to this, one of the reasons a lot of people say, okay, he won't be mobile enough. But dude, as long as Danny gets in the ring, is able to control the range. Because the thing is, I see Thurman trying to come in and let out an offense, but Danny, I think he's gonna have a slow start. My prediction is Danny will have a slow start to this fight. To me, maybe the first 2, maybe 3, who knows, maybe 4 rounds. I see Danny. If he doesn't win the rounds, it'll be close, but I think Thurman will probably win the first 3-4 rounds. For me, Danny will probably come on in the 4th after the 5th round and start to get the timing down, and then not necessarily cutting off the ring, but I think Thurman.
You don't know how to.
Because Thurman, dude, you give this guy a lot of shit, bro.
Because you don't know how to cut a ring.
You're gonna have egg on your face on Sunday morning.
Why? The only way Danny Garcia could win this fight if he get gifted.
He's gonna
one more time.
My thing, my prediction is I think Danny will win by unanimous or
controversial if he does.
My prediction is gonna be a late stoppage. I think that Danny could get a stoppage by either the 10th or the 11th round. Who are you gonna stop? Thurman.
He's
one time.
No way.
One time's gonna turn to run time.
Yeah, run time.
Yeah, I'm telling you, bro. It's like,
dude. Thurman been hurt twice.
Right, Chavez hurt him. Guerrero hurt him. Who else can I picture hurt him? Porter hurt him. He got hurt by all those major. The only guy he didn't get hurt by was Leonard Bundu, and Bundu he was. His boxing.
He adjusted, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But that's the same thing I said with Danny. Like, why take a risk if you don't need to? Even with the Porter fight, he had that. It was a close fight. But he took more punishment than necessary. Even in the Guerrero fight, if he would have fought smart. And one thing about this, I do respect the fact of Thurman that he makes it an exciting fight. That's why he was engaged. He was in there. He went into a zen moment. But if you're a smart fighter and you know you're winning a fight, why make it? And that's the thing I say about Garcia. Like, why go forward? Because that's what I'm saying. If there's a fighter you feel that you can knock out, go forward. Sit on your shots and take on them. But if it's a fighter you know is going to give you hell and could take those like Guerrero, for as much as you say about him, he's dangerous. And even if you do beat him, you're going to walk out of there cut or bruised. What
happened to Danny in the last 3 rounds against Sab Judah?
Zab Judah came on late, but Danny kept hitting him with his right hands.
So I didn't see him adjusting. I didn't see him not taking risks.
Maybe honestly he looked. I will say he looked gassed out towards the end of the fight. He even gave him that gash on his forehead. But I felt that Danny won the majority of the fight. For me, honestly, Danny won at least 8 rounds, and he scored a flash knockdown. So that's enough to win the fight. Zab Judah came on, but he came on late. So
that definitely, but that's a.
But yeah, he was. But that's what I'm saying. He was. Zab Judah's a very crafty fighter. So out of the crafty fighters, you beat him. But look, you just look at the wins on his resume. He has, and this is the thing with boxing. Before the fight, this guy's a shit. After the fight, he was too old. He was too this. He was too that. Look, he fought Amir Khan when Amir Khan was the favorite, 9-1. He was a stepping fight. I don't know who Khan was. I forgot he was supposed to fight, but pretty much Danny came in the last minute to replace him. He fought Matisse when they were saying Matisse was going to chop his.
Matisse was never a champion.
Dude,
never a champion.
But dude,
that's his biggest win, and he was never a champion.
Oh my God, people have bad memory. I swear. But with the Matisse fight, people were scared of him. He was like, he had the Triple G effect. He was like,
he came down and knocked out Peterson. That's the only reason.
He knocked out Peterson, and he knocked out a bunch of other people, and he even knocked down.
Give me another big name.
He knocked down or knocked out?
Knocked out. Give me another big name that he had knocked out before Peterson.
Did he? I correct me if I'm wrong. Did he fight Devin Alexander?
Yeah, but he didn't knock him out.
But he knocked him down.
I said knocked out, and I don't think so neither. I don't think Devin went down. I don't remember.
Think he went down. Yeah,
Devin. I don't think Devin went down.
Well, we could look that up later. But my point
is
that at 140, the boogeyman at Matisse at 140. Okay, go ahead.
Other than Peterson, what big name did Matisse?
Dude, let's check it out right now. Let me verify
because that's the thing, dude. The guy was never a champion. Every time he stepped up, moved up and fought for the title, he came down short. And I did pick him because Danny showed a lot of flaws. He overcame the fight and he won. Yeah, I give him credit for that. But the guy, the boogeyman, never a champion. His only big name was Peterson. That's it.
Well, let's see. He beat Peterson. He KO'd John Molina, and this was after the Danny fight.
But who's John Molina?
John Molina was a killer in his time. Now he's slow.
Wow. Everybody shitted on John Molina when he was going to fight Danny Garcia. Everybody shitted on
he beat Provodnikov.
Oh, my God. A guy who's claiming retirement.
He beat Humberto Soto.
Who the heck is Humberto Soto? Come on. Dude, people are hyped up that fight because of the Peterson fight.
He beat, but let's be honest. The Zab Judah fight, Matisse fought Judah. When he lost, the 2 losses he had on his record at the time, he had Zab Judah and Devin Alexander.
Yeah, and they were controversial.
And in those fights, I believe Alexander took a knockdown. I believe even Zab took a knockdown, but they took the fight away from him. But the thing is this.
But that's the thing.
It's the thing with Danny is that he beat Matisse when at the time he was the favorite.
No offense, because I love Matisse. And he have a whole bunch of cat driver from Argentina on his record, and
that's like most Mexican fighters.
And a Peterson, and he's boogeyman and.
But at the time, people have short memory. But at the time, Matisse was the guy.
No, he was. But because what? Everybody else moved up. Maidana.
Yeah, but that's no excuse. At the time, who was the boogeyman?
Timothy Bradley moved up. Alexander had moved up after that. Khan had moved up. Everybody. Danny Garcia walks to 147 at a great time. At the perfect time. If Danny Garcia would have been there with Bradley and all those other guys.
Well, right now with Crawford is a different story. I mean,
even with Crawford.
But the thing with him, okay, so he fought Khan, he beat him. He fought Matisse, he beat him. He beat Judah, which was a tough fight. He still beat him. Even though it was tough, he beat him. Lamont Peterson, I felt that he beat him. Lamont could have, if he would have won 2 more rounds. The only fight I felt that he was gifted was the Herrera fight. And the Herrera fight, probably he didn't take serious, and maybe he didn't do his research because all the other fighters on Showtime didn't look at Herrera's resume. But Herrera's a difficult fighter with the jab and the headbutting. He beat Erik Morales, but people took away the win because they said he was old. So, I mean, when you look at all of that, they still want to give him shit. But for this fight, my flaw with Thurman is that, 1, his defense is lacking, and 2, I think he's fighting. In my opinion, I think he's fighting to make the weight at 47, and I think he's either gonna gas out and be soft to the body. I don't see Keith Thurman getting knocked down with a headshot. I honestly think Keith Thurman is gonna either take a body shot. Who knows? Maybe sustain damage to the head. He's gonna gas out or something to the body. But Val Garcia, hunt him down, hit the body, wear him down, stop him late. That's my prediction for that. And next week, hopefully people can record this, make this a ringtone, something. But Danny is gonna prevail.
Sean Paul is a bigger guy than Danny Garcia, and he won. And Keith Thurman won 12. I thought to myself, because I even picked Sean Paul for that fight, and I was saying, oh nah, Thurman's not gonna make the weight. Thurman looked really good in the weight. I saw him for the 7-day weigh-in. He looked really same way as Danny. And he looking good. The only thing I don't like about Thurman, he's talking about win, lose or draw, and if he wins, he wins. If he loses, he loses. That's the only
mentality.
thing.
That's
The only thing
I'm
I'm not agreeing with. But other than that, I think he's more athletic, and I think he's gonna be a handful for Danny, because Danny doesn't carry the punches that he used to carry at 140.
Who's the biggest star, though? Who's the biggest star?
Yeah, but that's why the only thing because Danny's the biggest star is the only reason I believe that that Thurman might get
it's the Danny Garcia show.
Robbing the cards. But my prediction is Thurman by majority decisions.
Oh, jeez, that's close. All right, so that's pretty much it on that end. Sunday morning, I'll be sure to. And the new WBA and WBC champion.
Thurman. One time, Keith Thurman.
It's going to be Danny Swift Garcia. Get it right. But, aside from this, I wish them both the not luck. They've already put in the hard work. I hope they put in a good fight. I hope they're able to go home to their families Saturday night. And thank you so much to Showtime and CBS for putting this together. 2017, like you said earlier, has been a great year for boxing, especially with the Triple G fight the following week, which is, I'm getting off the Danny topic. The Triple G card is one that I'm interested in because I like both fighters. I like Jacobs and I like Triple G. I like the momentum he's built, and I sadly don't believe that they give Triple G the respect he deserves at his weight. But we'll see. Whoever wins, for me is easily is going to be placed number 1, number 2. Whoever wins that fight is going to be top 3. No questions asked. What do you think? Pound for pound, top 3.
Definitely. Top 3. I mean, whoever wins that fight should be considered pound for pound, because the whole thing with Ward and Kovalev.
That didn't move anyone's ranking. It just stayed the same.
Yeah, that stuff is still in the air. Kovalev, they still playing mind games. I mean, Ward's still playing mind game. Kovalev is taking his sweet ass vacation, and I don't know how's that
I think in the Danny Garcia and Thurman, that should move any one of those guys to top 5, somewhere there. But between the Triple G, I feel that his resume is enough to put him somewhere in the top 3 right there. But that's pretty much it, guys. Do you want anything else you want to cover? Want to wrap it up?
Did we mention the brawl between Breazele and Wilder on the lobby? So basically, the story is during the Washington fight, Breazele kids were cheering for Washington, because Breazele and when Washingtons they know each other, they're friends and whatever. So while their brother was sitting next to them, and they I guess, into argument, whatever, and then supposedly Breazele said that he will kill Wilder and his family. Basically, I don't think he said it on
those words.
Basically. So things got heated up on the press conference. Wilder, it was brought up to Wilder. Wilder said that he was gonna see him, and I guess they saw each other on the lobby. Wilder didn't throw a punch, but his brother did, and punch Breazele in the side of the head, almost to the back of the head. And it was really crowded. You could see it on TMC's there. And now, I guess Breazele it took his family, because his kids was there. His wife was screaming, "The kids are here!" The media was there. I mean, the cops show up, and nothing happened, I guess. But I think this is a good story to sell the fight. I think this is a good fight. I mean, we already saw that Wilder does have problems with guys his size. And Brazil's a kid that could take a punch, and he got a lot of heart. And his heart is the only thing that I don't see Brazil as a guy that the A-class fighter or top of the line. But he's a guy who got heart and could pack a punch sometimes. And in the division of heavyweight, anything could happen. So that would be an exciting fight. But like I said earlier, Steven Severn is the guy who WBC is mandating for Wilder. He also have a IBF, right? For Parker, yeah, it's
yeah,
IBF.
no, that's
WBO
because IBF is
Joshua.
with Joshua. So
So let's see what happened there. But and then that's that with that. On the other hand, Pacquiao versus Khan.
Khan, yeah, right.
It's
April.
Those terms are agreed to. There's nothing signed yet, but hopefully it's in April. We don't have a venue yet. It is to be announced. And
who do you think is faster?
I mean, Khan is a younger guy. I don't know Pacquiao. I did not saw Pacquiao. That
I think Pacquiao has the better legs.
Yeah, but I didn't see Pacquiao that great. He didn't look that great against Barkers, but Pacquiao did drop him. I mean, a lot of people say, "Oh, Pacquiao haven't knocked out."
He still knocks people down, though.
Yeah, he does. The thing is that he don't have the killer instincts that he used to have before he became religious and all the other stuff. But I still think Pacquiao will beat Khan. I mean, Khan, he been on the hiatus. He fought Canelo and got destroyed, and he hasn't fought ever since. But at least Pacquiao, he's still fighting twice a year. I mean, he took a year off, but other than that, he's still active. I think Pacquiao is still good enough to beat him. I mean, a lot of people I have heard that picking Khan already. Similar to Danny Garcia, I was surprised. A lot of people. He's never in a fight like this. He was always underdog, and he's still. So right now, last time I checked, he was 2-1 underdog. But I think that by the night of the fight, it will be probably a real even fight. But usually, when he's on the underdog is when he prevailed. Like usually when he's the guy on top, he always come out scratching decisions. But that was just odd. A lot of people I respect in boxing are picking Danny. But let's see what happens, man.
It's composure, man. I think the mental. A lot of boxing, from what I've seen, with a lot of fighters, boxing is 90% mental. And a lot of the work you do in boxing is done in the gym, in your training camp, and obviously leading up to your training camp. You'll know mentally if you're sharp enough to beat your opponent. Because if your mind's right, then your training camp's right, then everything will turn out good. Obviously, with Thurman, I'm not saying his mind's not right, but it's like you said earlier, win, lose, or draw. I feel that he's going to give his best, but if he loses, I don't think he'll be as distraught. And that leads to, if things get tough, which they will, because they're both undefeated fighters, who's willing to give up mentally first? Who's willing to say, you know what, this isn't worth it. Let me just pull back, save myself, at least save face, and then, just make it through this fight. But I think the fighter that's willing to leave it all on the table is going to be prevail. And the fighter that breaks down mentally first, the one that quits, not even hurt. I'm not saying you get hurt, but I think the person that in their mind says, okay, let me just stop, is gonna quit. So Thurman's gonna pretty much is gonna have to establish his power early and get Danny's respect. Whoever gets whose respect first is gonna, and that could turn too, because whoever cracks first is gonna be the one that does, is gonna feel the pain. But
something that surprised me about this fight is, for me, this is the bigger fight that PBC have had since they came out, and this is the kind of fight that they promised when they came out. But I'm surprised that they're not promoting this fight as much as they should. I think this is a fight that. I remember when Mayweather used to been active, and every
maybe
time
the budget.
Yeah, he used to like announce a fight. Everything used to go like crazy, media and everybody. Like this is a type of fight right now. A top 5 guys at welterweight fighting for a unification should be a fight that we should be celebrating. I mean, I'm super excited about this fight. I can't wait till Saturday. I want to see the outcome. I want to see the fight. This is really explosive, and I believe that. PBC should do a better job promoting these kind of fights, man. I honestly believe that a fight like these should be cherished a little bit more, because we don't really get one guy versus number 2 guy. It's the same thing with the Triple G versus Jacob fight. These are fights that it's a really great year for boxing. 2017, we can't not ask for more. I mean, we got in Chavez Jr. versus Canelo, which is also a really
Anthony
good fight.
Joshua versus
Joshua versus
Klitschko.
Klitschko, and we might end up seeing the winner versus
Kell
Wilder
Brook.
at the end, and
Kell
Kell Brook
Brook.
versus Spence. Really awesome fight. That's another fight that I can't
And the
wait
Pac
for.
and Khan fight.
Man, listen, if you are, this is the best year to be a boxing fan. We cannot complain.
Sign
about
up.
it. Sign up for this shit. But yeah, I mean, let's go now and take Brian. Brian got his thoughts, his 2 cents on these upcoming fights.
What's going on, guys? How's everything going? Just just wanted to let you guys know that unfortunately this week I wasn't really able to see the fights. The outcomes were pretty much everything that I predicted as far as the Wilder and Gerald Washington. Like I said, I didn't really know Washington. Uh, didn't really give him a chance, a shot, honestly. I knew he was just being fed to the wolves, and Wilder, he's very sloppy for me with his overhands, and I just if he was to fight, people believe Klitschko's past his prime, and Klitschko has a really big opponent in front of him in Joshua, but if he was to fight one of those guys, Joshua will beat him. He fights Klitschko will beat him. So he's fighting these guys that he reminds me so much of Stevenson, and of course that's because of Al Heyman, the way that he's having his fighters fight guys that he could beat. So it's like whatever, and that's how you lose like steam in the heavyweight division. Put him against King Kong or something like that. So I prefer seeing that. So with that also, I didn't like the fact that Wilder was attacking Dominic Breazele in the lobby of the hotel room in front of Dominic's kids and his wife, and it was because supposedly Dominic had an verbal altercation with his younger brother, and then Wilder, being the older brother, was trying to get involved and saying, you can't step to my brother without going through me, and then it was like a scuffle, and it was just very unprofessional. So I really hope WBC does something about it. That's just really there's no room for stuff like that, you know what I mean? And it's for the boxing, There's a lot of people that look up to these boxers, and Adrian Broner said it best, when he just fought. He was like, listen, I know I'm a role model for a lot of people, and I promise I'm going to try my best to be a better role model because I don't want to give a bad example to my fans, which could also be kids. And in this case, Wilder has a lot of fans, and they're going to get the wrong message. So I think he should really be penalized. I don't know what. I doubt they'll strip him. But something harsh. I just maybe no more being, sanctioned in Alabama or something. I don't know. But it has to be something because he has to pay the consequences.
Right. And what do you think about the undercard?
I was glad that Hurd won. He deserved it. Like I said, I wasn't able to see the fight. But let's see what's in store for this kid, He's talented, man. Talented. I told you he packs a punch. I saw the highlights on Instagram, and I knew this kid was the truth. This kid got a lot, and he's young, so he's got a lot more in the tank. He's just barely starting. So let's see. I think he has a really bright career. So I would really tell everybody be on the lookout for him, man.
Awesome. So Brian, what do you think about the Danny Garcia fight?
This is the ultimate week. The week that my man Cherry Danny Garcia. I don't want to say my man. Excuse me. Cherry Danny Garcia officially gets his first loss, his first L, and my man Keith one-time Thurman is gonna give it to him. He's gonna knock his ass out. Like I said, I can't wait to, Angels Garcia's face just like speechless, like not knowing what to say. Take the mic away from that sucker. Can't wait, man. Can't wait, Carlos. Your boy's going down, bro. He's going down. Nobody's saving him. Only way if it's highway robbery, dude. That's the only way. But I don't think so, man. I think Thurman's gonna put it on him. And it'll be a shame if it's some type of robbery like that, or he gets another draw. Like the Peterson fight. But I don't think it's going that way. I think Thurman's gonna really give it to him, kick the shit out of him. I can't wait, man. It's one of the guys that I like. I just detest. So happy he's gonna finally lose. Carlos, explain to me how how your man Danny Garcia is saying that my man Keith Thurman is like his fourth or fifth top fighter, best fighter he's ever fought. He ranked him so like he should be like within the top 3. He's saying he's throwing names like Mauricio Herrera, Lamont Peterson. Amir Khan, okay, he beat that, but he beat him. But with Peterson, that was robbery. Peterson won that fight. Herrera, another robbery. Herrera won that fight. You know, Matisse, I don't know what the hell happened with Matisse, man. I still think, I don't know. I want to say it was staged or, I don't like those theories. I leave that more to Flacco. But how the hell does the Cutman not have the presser, and that would have helped Matisse to see better. But even still, he got the W. Okay, I got you. But my man Thurman should be right there, like top three, man. He 4 or 5. He's just man, I can't wait, man. Can't wait. Saturday, baby. Everybody's gonna be tuned in, and you're gonna receive a phone call from me, Carlos, right away as soon as he hits the canvas. I'm calling you. I'm calling you, bro.
Jeez.
And what do you think about the Triple G versus Jacob side?
There's been a lot of talk with Triple G. Triple G's been doing a lot of media. He's been talking a lot about Canelo. Canelo is nothing, and I like it. I like the hype, definitely. I've been seeing some of the workout videos from Triple G. Jesus, man, this guy. I feel bad for Jacobs. Like everybody's saying, hope they have 911 on speed dial, because after hearing those blows, just like his sparring session is just practicing, hitting the mitts, man. Yo, dude, this G is the truth, man. That dude has like a bull punch. It's crazy. It's crazy. There's no way I could see Jacobs winning that fight. A lot of people say he's got a lot of power also, but he's got a chin issue. And like I said, Mora was able to knock him down. Dude, Triple G's gonna knock him out. So I'm just like so excited about that. I'm excited about that he's calling out Canelo, just putting it out there. Was Canelo's trying to say, oh, we made an offer to him, but it's a flat fee offer, which is bogus, dude. What is this bullshit about fucking flat fees now? Just to give the guy, we do a 60-40, since technically he's the more known fighter, but Triple G is the champion, so he should get more. But in this case, just compromise and do 60-40. Anything less than that is honestly, in my eyes, is because Golden Boy doesn't want to make the fight, and we all know they don't want to make the fight because we know the outcome. Canelo's going to lose, So, hopefully he could get through Chavez, which I think he will, even though there's a lot of hype. Well, Chavez is in good shape. He's got, one of the best trainers in the world, in Nacho. But we all know how Chavez is, So I'm not expecting much of that fight. Looking forward, to upcoming fights. It's gonna be a busy schedule. We got Curtis Stevenson, David Lemieux. I'm excited for that fight. Both those guys don't really have anything against GP, both of them anyways. But it's an intriguing fight. It's an intriguing fight. I really wanna see that fight. Tune in for that fight. We have some good fights. You have Amir Khan now, Manny Pacquiao. I'm not crazy about the fight because Khan for me is a crier, and Khan is not going to be able to beat Pacquiao. Even though Pacquiao for me is past his prime, he's already done, but Khan doesn't have what it takes. So that fight for me, you already know who the winner is going to be. It's going to be Pacquiao. But at least that's another fight that's decent, I guess you could say, to watch. So, and then, you have all these other fights coming up. So, Joshua Klitschko, I think it's going to be a great year for boxing. So, really happy, really stoked. Can't wait to be part of history unifying belts. Hopefully, and Ward is saying that now he wants to rematch with Sergi. I mean, the shit happened. Ward should have already done it. Ward is my guy. I had him winning the fight, but we got to put this to rest. And Ward has to take this rematch, and let's do this shit now, man. I want to watch this fight. Let's make this an epic year of boxing. So come on, all of these guys, please, hope they could just like put their promotions to the side or whatever the hell it is that they're thinking, and just make great fights for the fans. That's what I really want for this year.
But thank you for your call, Brian, man. I really appreciate you. I'll see you in 2 weeks in New York, man. And we're gonna have a great time.
Great time.
Definitely, and let's wrap it up.
All right, man. So thank you once again. Wrapping up episode 15. Next week will be the Sweet 16. Thank you so much for listening, guys. Please listen to our show. Please subscribe. If there's anything we can do better, let us know. Once again, our email is boxingrampage1@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram at boxingrampage. Set to launch the Facebook page pretty soon. Anything you want to add before we check out?
We're gonna have a round by round on the Thurman Vs Garcia
We're gonna
fight.
bring you live coverage.
We're gonna be judging these rounds because JC right here can't judge the fight. He's saying that's Peterson. Oh my God, lost that fight. But anyways, so we got that for you guys, and we got way more. You know, slowly but surely, we're gonna 2017 is gonna be a great year for us. So we're gonna grow. Share the podcast to your friend and give a thumbs up, and comment, please. Let us know if we're doing a good job or bad job, or if you like us or hate us. We want to know it all. All right, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
See you. All right, one.